is presented by the Tecumseh and West Middlebury Historical Society. It is a melodrama, so we invite you to participate and interact with the actors. I have a few cards that I will be putting up, and I thought we could do a practice run now. So here's one. Oh, that was great! Wow, what an audience! One more time. Okay, they really want to hear you. Okay, now here's my favorite. A little more enthusiastic. Great. We invite you to turn off any electronic devices and immerse yourself in the year of 1878. And here's our narrator.
Welcome, friends. As you entered the hall, did you notice a poster advertising a Temperance tea, Newton Robinson, 1878? Well, it is a copy of the original found at the Simcoe County Archives, the inspiration for the celebration of the Historical Society's 40th anniversary. Our melodramatic play, Saving Grace, will stimulate your emotional sensibilities. Its author penned it with a throbbing nib, its truth sealed with her scalding tears. Some of the ladies in our midst may require a discreet thank you. Ah, here comes Jim. He's the villain in this story, the tavern keeper, James Sly. He's been around for a long time, knows everyone's business. He is greedy and lecherous. His main aim, to turn a profit. Seated around the table are the barflies. There's John and Patrick and Sam. Huey hasn't arrived yet. There's no polite way to describe them. These chaps are a bunch of rough and ready jiggers. A little later on, you will meet the other characters. The heroine, Grace Hands.
A lovely girl, old for her years, living in poverty and desperate for work. The hero, Anglican priest, Ernest Priestley, an honorable man, a bit of a milquetoast, who wears his heart on his sleeve. He is dedicated to saving souls. The leader of the Women's Temperance Society, Letitia Bloomer. Confident and determined, you should know that our Miss Bloomer is related to Amelia Bloomer, a passionate temperance woman who made Bloomer stylish amongst women cyclists. Her mother named her after Letitia Yeomans, a powerful voice for the Christian women's temperance movement in 1874. She was born in Coburg, Ontario. Letitia had no choice with a name like that than to fulfill her destiny. And now, our story begins.
Hey, did you hear what started that fire down on the 6th? I bet you'll never guess.
Yeah, I heard about that, Jim. Was it lightning? Spontaneous combustion or what?
No, I heard it was a crow who picked up one of old man Bingham's cigar butts. You know how those crows, those birds go for anything shiny.
That's crazy, Jim. Whoever told you that must have been seeing things.
Wouldn't surprise me. Crows are smart. Maybe a bit like people. Ever notice how a crow stays in the middle of the road just as you're about to run it over with your buggy, and then it flies away?
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be in the witness tomorrow. Hey, did you hear that Mary Brazel from here in our fair village is closing down her hotel?
Yep.
I bet the locals couldn't afford her fancy liquors. Oh, maybe her sons just wanted to move to the big city. I don't know. But boy, she sure had some gumption, didn't she? Yeah. When Patrick died, she rented out the farm, and then she hooked up with that Bradford tanner. It's Thomas Berry. And they put up that hotel right in the corner where all the traffic passed by. I bet their customers really appreciated those stables that she put up with the dance hall right above them. I bet there was a lot of high kicking going on up there.
Yeah. I wager we won't be reading about how you stay in business though, huh, Jim? Your liquor's cheap. What do you put in this stuff? Frozen potatoes?
You certainly don't mind the price. By the way it makes you feel after a pint or two.
Hey, no offense, Jim. I just remember my father telling me how all the farmers would take their moldy black rye to the still down the road here in exchange for a gallon or two of that whiskey. It was a great deal. Barkeepers could make a 500% markup.
100.
Yeah?
Talking about remembering, you all mind the good times we used to have with hospitality night. Every night of the week, except Sunday. Locals would come in, stand treat. Great fun.
Yeah. Come to think of it, I was thinking of bringing back that custom. Oh, that was good. I remember when Sam Neely used to come in and buy everyone a drink. And this would give him the opportunity to tell everybody a nice story. And then the next guy would buy a drink, and they would come up with a tall tune or what a tell tale or whatever. Someone would play the piano, and some would dance a jig. You remember that old Joe Noble? He used to play a song on his harmonica. The more everybody drank, everybody just got drunker and drunker, and they started slurring their words and singing songs out of tune. They were falling all over the place. Oh, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Oh, I can just see it now, Jim. As the gracious host, you'd be generous with the amount of liquor you pour into those glasses till it was time to pay up. Then no one would remember who owed what or cared.
Come Huey.
Hey, Huey!
Hey, you're looking good.
Oh, but you don't feel good.
You don't look too
It's like
good.
an anvil smashed into my head. I just went for a couple drinks over to the Farmer's Inn in Newtown last night. Don't remember what happened or how I got home.
Hey, Huey, you know what you need? Ask the missus to boil up a hot pot of mustard and wrap it around one of your old socks and apply it to the back of your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Or you could cut a lemon in half and put them under your armpits. My grandfather's advice was to walk backwards for 5 minutes. I never could figure how that one would work.
I think this headache wasn't enough. When I got home last night, I had the worst nightmare ever.
Just give me a second. Well, what do we have here?
I'm Grace Monahan. I saw your notice on the post outside. You're looking for help.
As a matter of fact, I am looking for a little help. My wife, well, she spends a lot of time just lying around and suffering from exhaustion, or woman's complaint, whatever that is. As you can see, the place is a dump. Yeah. You don't look very strong. What kind of experience do you have?
Well, I'm very strong, I can assure you, sir, for being the eldest of 10 children, 6 boys and 4 girls.
I suppose we can hire you on a trial basis. But why don't you just go on in and put all your stuff under the little room under the stairs. Ask the wife for a room, some supplies, and come on out when you're ready. And for room and board and 50 cents a day, I think she'll do, eh, fellas?
Yeah. Who is she, Jim? And why would she want to work here?
Hey, not hard to look at either, eh?
Go on with your story you were telling us.
Oh, my dream. Well, like I said, I had this nightmare. I dreamt that my horse Lily got into a fresh bag of oats and she ate the whole blasted thing. Well, the belly swelled up real good. Then she took a header of sty. I woke up falling. I love that horse. She and I, she's been been my most faithful companion ever since before I got married. We would walk together plowing those endless furrows of the backboard over the farm in Penville. Those were the days. Bought that sturdy mare up the auction in Cookstown.
Hey! You ought to be a little more friendly like with my friends here. They're my paying customers. A little wink and a saucy little smile or two would be good for business, if you know what I mean. Take care of this right here.
Some of us don't aim too good, eh?
Whoa!
Well, if it ain't the right Reverend Ernest Priestley coming down our lane right here, you better put away your cards, boys. Well, how are you today this fine day?
Just fine, just fine. Good day to you all. Good day, Reverend.
Hey, Reverend.
Well, I was just passing by and realized I was very thirsty. And that my poor old horse needed a rest and some water. Your stable looks in need of repairs, but should do well enough for a short moment.
What'll you have?
Oh, a cold glass of milk would go down nice.
I'll see what I can do. No.
This is the devil's work. He's tempting you, chewing that awful stuff and drinking that whiskey. Just remember as it goes down your gullets, it's like a snake and it will poison you like a viper. Many of my parishioners suffer greatly from its vile effects. One wretched family I visited last week, the husband had fallen backward down a flight of stairs. He was addicted to alcohol. He used to keep a dipper and a pail of it by his bed. The night after the accident, he got to sleep and puked all night. Must have choked on it or something. In the morning, his wife found him dead. She begged and pleaded with him to stop going out every night and coming home 4 sheets of the wind. The family was terrified. Here was a hard-working man on his own farm. Let his barns collapse to the ground until the weeds took over. A kind and loving husband and father, but he'd go crazy over the smallest annoyance, beating his wife and screaming at his children. Intemperance fires the brain, darkens the intellect, and destroys the soul. Who are you, my dear? Are you praying? And what are you doing here in this den of misbegotten souls?
I was listening to what you said to those men. My own personal experience was reflected in your story of that unfortunate family. I noticed that while you spoke, one of the men actually put down his whiskey glass. And I felt blessed just now, for no one speaks kindly to me at home. My mother is exhausted most of the time. Her last baby was a difficult birth, and she calls out to me from her bed, "Grace, do this, hurry up and do that." It's constant demands from morning until night when I'm at home. Oh, and I'm so tired. The work here is demeaning, and the contents of this disgusting spittoon sicken me. But I'm duty-bound to bring home whatever I can earn so that my brothers and sisters can eat. My father died on his way home one night after a drinking party at the back of Melbourne's general store. He collapsed in the snow and froze to death. And I was always closer to my father, and I loved him dearly, and his dying ripped the heart out of me.
Your hair is beautiful.
Who are you to come busting into my business like this?
Gentlemen, what are you doing to yourselves? Look at you. You have been ill, have you not? Your complexion is moribund, and your eyes are red and watery. And you, your hair is thinning, and your body seems to be wasting away. Surely you must notice during your morning ablutions that you cough up a thick, brackish phlegm, and your breath smells putrid. Maybe you have noticed that your memory is also lacking.
I was once a victim of parents whose lives were so difficult that they sought solace in the bottle. There were often only hard crusts of bread to eat, with perhaps a little bit of rancid fat to moisten them. Any crumbs that fell were gobbled up at night by the rats as we slept in our cold, hard beds. But I had my Bible and my faith in the Almighty. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Yes. These words were so powerful that I vowed I would do something. I would gather up women like myself to show them and others the way to salvation and freedom. Freedom from these accursed poisons. We are the Christian Women's Temperance Movement. Yes. You know that men are not driving oxen anymore, and this new modern mode of transport, the automobile, can be very dangerous when liquor is so easy to obtain. These swiftly moving conveyances must be controlled, or your own dear ones could be badly injured or even killed. You have the power to save your families and friends and neighbors by making this a temperance hotel like the Revere in Alliston. And now, gentlemen, we have brought you some fine entertainment. Our temperance committee extends a cordial invitation to enjoy the show. They have scoured the countryside from Barry to Schaumburg to bring you an afternoon of pleasant entertainment. At this moment, I would like to invite Mrs. Walpole to the stage.
Say, lady, how's about you and the girls offering up standing treat here? My friends are getting awful thirsty. Hey, John,
Shame.
Why don't you play a song for us?
Where's the song, Johnny?
Your fiddle's here, Johnny. Here, I'll get it for you.
I would love to hear this.
Yeah, John.
There you go.
Oops. Okay, there you go.
Hang in there, John.
We need to wet his whistle a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Just from the nerves.
Attaboy.
Oh, that'll help.
exceedingly good duet of Chalou d'Amour. I would now like to invite Mrs. Yielding, our renowned elocutionist, who will give us Rivers of Canada by Bliss Carman.
For this particular presentation, I have chosen an uplifting poem. It's called The Rivers of Canada. It is celebrating our wonderful land. Why, when I used to recite it to my husband, God bless his soul, he was brought to tears, and I hope you will be too. Oh, all the little rivers that flow to Hudson's Bay, they call me, and they call me to follow them away. Missinabie, Abitibi, Little Curtis, how they run laughing and dancing. I see them in the sun. I hear their brawling rapids and the thunder of the fall. And when I think upon them, I cannot stay at all at the end of the portage where the wilderness begins. Set me down with my canoe load and forgiveness of my sins. Oh, all the mighty rivers beneath the polar star, they call me, and they call me to follow them afar. The Peace and Athabasca, the Copper Mine and Slave, the Yukon and the Mackenzie, high roads of the brave, Saskatchewan, Assiniboine, the Bow and the Qu'Appelle, and all the prairie rivers whose names are like a spell. They rumor in the twilight at the edge of the unknown. There's a message waiting for you and a kingdom all your own. The wilderness will feed you. Her gleam shall be your guide. Come out from your sinning past. The path of hope is wide. Oh, all the headlong rivers that hurry to the west, they call me and they lure me with the joy of their unrest. The Columbia, the Fraser, the Bear and Kootenay, I love their fearless reaches where the winds untrammeled play. And there, each morning, heaven blessing I would be, where all the silver rivers go racing to the sea. Oh, well-remembered rivers that sing of long ago, a journeying through the summer or green under snow. Toby and Madawaska and shining Gaspereau. St. Croix, Nashua, St. John, whose haunts I used to know. All the pleasant rivers that seek the funding home, they call me, and they call me to follow them home.
Thank you, Mrs. Yielding. And now we will conclude our program with Mrs. Ellis, who will give us a song. She will be performing She's Like the Swallow.
young lady who makes a regrettable mistake in her choice of a suitor with most tragical consequences. And although it doesn't say so in the song, I'm sure he must have been a drunkard as well. I will sing it a cappella. She's like the swallow that flies so high. She's like the river that never runs dry. She's like the sunshine on the lee shore. She loves her love, but love is no more. 'Twas down in the meadow this fair maid bent, a-picking the primrose just as she went. The more she picked, the more she pulled, until she gathered her apron full. She climbed on yonder hill above to give a rose unto her love. She gave him one, she gave him three. She gave her heart for company. How foolish, foolish you must be to think I love no one but thee. The world's not made for one alone. I take delight in everyone. She took her roses and made a bed, a stony pillow for her head. She lay her down, no more did say, but let her roses fade
Thank you, Miss Gonzalez. And now, onward, Christian women's temperance movement.
Riddance.
There's that woman in her control. That is my business. You're not gonna fall for that hearts and flowers story about her just having crust of bread to eat and all that. She looks pretty well fed to me. What do you think you're doing?
Oh, unhand me. I'm leaving this wretched place now.
This is the last coin you'll be getting from me.
You must be crazy.
He'll be back.
I will be back.
Farewell.
Huey, join us.
Okay, I'll come.
The seat's still warm, Huey.
And now, dear friends, we will leave you to ponder. Has Letitia convinced the patrons they should give up their filthy habits? How many will fill out her temperance pledges? Giving up the 20 vices, can you guess what they might be? The Reverend, will he pluck up his courage to run after Grace and begin? And Grace, does she follow in Letitia's footsteps? Take in other people's dirty laundry to help out at home? Or succumb to the sweet nothings Reverend Ernest may whisper in her beautiful ear? Does Jim secretly feel pangs of guilt for selling intoxicating beverages to many a promising youth? Will he seek redemption by turning his place into a temperance hotel? I urge you to discuss these possibilities over a cup of tea and sweets, prepared for your afternoon pleasure by the society ladies downstairs.
You're all invited to come downstairs, have a cup of tea and some dessert. Thank you for your participation.